Hello and welcome to live coverage of the Apex Gaming Last Chance qualifier here on a rainy Friday evening. I'm Tandy, joined by Ross Merriam. Say hi, Ross.
Hi, Ross.
And we have about 22 players in the event today, vying for 4 slots to Sunday's main event. And we're going to have 2 more events tomorrow that we're covering, where we're going to give away 8 more slots to that finale on Sunday.
Yeah, so all of these last chance qualifiers are going to be 5-round straight Swiss events, so there's no cut. Just play 5 rounds. If you're in the top 4 of the standings after those 5 rounds, you get to play Sunday in our $20,000 invitational. So very straightforward for these players. And at the size that we have today, I am guessing it's going to be pretty clean. I think if you go 4-1 or better, you're in. If you go 3-2, you're likely out. There's a chance that 3-2 sneaks in, but very, very unlikely.
Yeah, I think that that's right on the money. We are starting relatively late in the evening on Friday. These last chance qualifiers are often some of the more heated events when you get to the later rounds, because these players are all undefeated, usually vying for those last few slots. So the first match we're going to be watching in round number 1 is going to pit fellow streamer Will Hall EXP versus friend Relic Robin. I don't know, Gonzalez. That's what I thought her last name was. Both these players are going to be piloting Rakdos Scam.
Yeah, two experienced players bring the default best deck. It is the most played deck in our field. I see 5 copies among our 22 players. So, yeah, no surprise to see it early, and I bet we'll see it a lot this weekend. I'm just excited to get the Will Hall experience firsthand.
Alrighty. Well, seems like the players are ready down in the feature match area. So without further ado, let's head on down there and watch round number 1 of our first last chance qualifier. This last chance qualifier is going to be modern, but we do have a modern and a pioneer last chance qualifier tomorrow. If you can make it out to Caldwell, Ohio tomorrow to play in any of our events, we'd love to have you. And if you're able to make it into the top 4 at the end of the 5 rounds, you will punch your ticket to Sunday's main event, a $20,000 invitational.
Yeah, we got a ton of stuff going on this weekend, and it is all building to that $20,000 invitational on Sunday.
Yeah, we've had a lot of great Magic played here at the Apex Gaming home store in Caldwell, Ohio over this past year in 2023, and the players have earned their slots to that main event on Sunday, and we are excited about it. All right, players here have resolved mulligan, so we're off to the races. Robin here thinking about what to put on bottom. We are likely going to see some sort of scamming here on the first few turns, either double grief, double fury. That's the modus operandum for these Rakdos evoke decks.
Yeah, double early fury is a little awkward in the mirror because your opponent can fury you back, and
Right.
then they end up ahead. So this is a matchup where you definitely want to early grief with your evoke synergies rather than fury. I'm looking over the 2 deck lists here, and obviously the lists are quite similar, but Will does have a single copy of Shieldred the Apocalypse in the main deck.
Yeah, it's essentially just extra iterations of Orcish Bowmasters against the Beanstalk decks that have been cropping up as of late. It's a nice Punisher card against things like the One Ring, and it's quite good in the mirror. It really only gets knocked off by Terminate, and can gain quite a lot of life and buy you a lot of time.
Yeah, both players have pretty reasonable sideboards as well. We'll get into that a little bit later, but just looking at deck lists from the main deck, I gotta say, very small edge to Will, although I think the edge is compounding with some mulligans here
Yeah.
for Robin.
I know Will has mulligan to at least 6, and Robin is on 4 cards now, looking for the perfect 4. Robin is a student of friend of the stream, Mason Clark, who's also with us this weekend. And Robin is learning from the best. And he says mulligan pretty aggressively, and Relic Robin is following suit.
Yeah, a turn 1 double grief here on 4 cards would still be excellent.
White border Blood Crypt, Be Still My Heart. All right, here's Thoughtseize. Not the best opener, but it is something to do on turn 1. Taking a look at hand of Bloodstained Mire, Dothi Voidwalker. You're Not Dead Yet, Thoughtseize, Terminate, and Orcish Bowmaster. Whatever that card's called. No, not quite dead yet.
Not dead after all.
Not so dead are we now.
We may seem deader than we actually, in fact, are.
Yeah. This hand actually isn't that good. If you're Robin, I think you're kind of doing the fist pump here at this hand. The problem, I think, is that it's pretty insulated from the Thoughtseize itself because it's just a bunch of value creatures and it's not a whole lot of the scam elements that the Rakdos deck is known for.
Yeah, looks like Robin taking that Thoughtseize in order to protect the Fable in her hand. I think she drew a second copy of Fable too, so
Nice. That's
needs to
definitely where you want to be.
yeah, needs to hit the third land and does. So with Will missing his second land drop and Robin hitting her third for this Fable, suddenly the 4-card hand looking better than the 6-card hand.
Yeah, I mean, that happens quite a bit. I think players keep relatively weak hands in the Rakdos mirrors, or against Rakdos in general, because they think, oh, I'm going to get hit with Thoughtseize and Grief. I need to keep the most possible cards in my hand. But the games where they don't have those discard spells early, you have to do something powerful and punish them. And even when they are doing something that's that strong, most of the time you just need to have some sort of game plan, and mulliganing to 6, 5, or now even 4 cards does Robin Gonzalez. And, now we actually are playing a game where we're ahead on 4 cards.
Yeah, has the second Fable in hand. I think also just drew a Lightning Bolt, so may want to turn the Lightning Bolt into a different card. But actually, the Bolt looks pretty good with Voidwalker and Bowmaster in
Right.
Will's hand face up.
Definitely
So
agree
yeah,
with that.
just keeps them both and start accruing advantage with these Goblin Shamans.
Okay, so we're going to follow up the attack here probably with another copy of Fable the Mirror Breaker. The draw effect on there is a May. It's not a forced discard 2, draw 2. So that means that our vulnerability to Orcish Bowmaster is relatively limited. We are going to make a second Goblin token and pass back Will Hall's way. We'll see if Will can get out of this one. He's in a bad spot. Kept a 1-lander on the draw. Never found it until just now.
Well, this was probably the last turn Will had to find it and get back into this game.
What do you do now? Because Bowmaster doesn't look that good against a couple 2/2s. It looks fine, right? It can trade into one of them, but doesn't really solve the problem. Now, here's a weird spot. Will might actually miss this here. So Robin can actually say, resolve Chapter 2, and now if Will doesn't play the Bowmaster now, then Robin gets to freely discard.
Yeah, there's no window for Will to play the Bowmaster between the time Robin chooses to discard cards and draws. All of that is part of resolving the trigger from the second chapter of Fable. So, looks like Will does just let it happen, and Robin cycled away a Marsh Flats.
Okay, here comes an attack for 4. Both of the goblins coming in and going to make 2 more treasures. Will going to fetch twice, down to 16. Likely going to see Bowmaster flashed in here, but could go for a Terminate. You would have liked Terminate to have happened before the attack, though, so my guess is Bowmaster coming to trade.
Yeah, and likely needs to save that Terminate for one of the 2 Reflections. Can't let double Reflection start going nuts, especially with all the extra mana Robin's accruing from these treasures.
Yeah, Robin's hand is also not that bad. We have a Lightning Bolt, which you called out earlier, but also picked up a copy of Not Dead After All. Doesn't look that great with the Goblin tokens, but if Will goes to kill that Reflection of Kiki Jiki, it comes back face up.
Yes, it'll come back as another Fable, so Robin will get a bunch more triggers.
Okay, so Orc Army, we're going to deal damage probably to one of the tokens, and then the Orc Army is just going to trade with the token it dealt the damage to. It looks like that's what we're lining up here, but maybe Will has other plans.
And Robin could bolt the Orc Army to keep her Goblin Shaman around.
Yeah.
Decides not to. Would rather deal with the Bowmaster, which, is quite reasonable.
All right, Robin passes the turn back. Will Hall going to untap 2 mana at the ready. We'll see if he has a big turn here. Something like Fury plus Not Dead After All would be a heck of a start.
Yeah, these Rakdos decks can certainly catch up from behind.
Mm-hmm.
So now that Will's starting to be able to play some Magic, we've got a game.
Those 3 cards you see on the right-hand side of the table on Will Hall, those are in his hand. Those are revealed from an early discard spell. So those are not in play, just to let y'all know. Robin here trying to navigate through things like Not Dead After All and Terminate can be a little tricky. We're going to go back Robin's way with no play. Maybe another Bowmaster. Maybe going to be Bolt plus Not Dead After All on the Bowmaster. We'll see. First off, Reflection.
Yeah, Robin knows that there's a Not Dead After All in Will's hand, so doesn't want to use her removal too aggressively, and can attack pretty effectively into the Bowmaster anyway. If Will goes for a block, Not Dead After All after blocks to rebuy my Bowmaster, Robin can bolt in response.
We'll see what the play is. There's a lot of tricky things you can do on both sides here. You know, the reflections being in play means that at any point Robin can say, okay, during your end step, I'm going to make a reflection, and then that one's going to make another reflection, and they're not going to die until the next end step. So it's kind of like a mini Splinter Twin combo. All right, we're going to start with an attack with a Goblin and see if Robin remembers the treasure. She does. 2 points coming in. See how Will wants to play it. All right, we're going to go block on the token, and then we're going to target it with Not Dead After All. We'll see if Robin bites and wants to do anything about it. She has a bolt. Here it is. Let's see if Will has a response.
Has the second Undying Evil.
Okay, I think that's the trumper. We'll see if Robin has anything else.
So now the Bowmaster will deal 1 in combat to the Goblin Shaman, then will come back from Undying. Oh no, because the bolt's gonna happen first.
Yeah, it's actually not gonna kill the goblin at all.
Yeah,
I don't think,
so you're not. Yeah, you're still not killing anything because the bolt will stop any sort of combat damage.
Yeah. So it does come back with Undying with a +1/+1 counter, and the Orc Army comes back as well to deal 1 damage, probably to face. Decides to do 1 damage to the goblin, but there is no combat damage on this goblin, so this is a dead damage. Slight mistake there from Will.
Not sure it's going to matter, but...
All right, and pass the turn back. Will draws. Now, if Robin does have something like Not Dead After All, which I'm pretty sure she does, the Dauthi Voidwalker from Will can stop those shenanigans to an extent, but he's still strangled on mana. Only 2 lands at the ready right now.
Yeah, and probably needs to hold up this Terminate to stop Reflection shenanigans, which are going to start on his end step.
Yeah, and I think if that's what's going to happen here, then Robin's just going to have Not Dead After All to save it. And
yeah, so use 1 reflection, target the other. Will goes for a Terminate response on the reflection that was targeted by the other reflection.
Yeah, and one of them does have Summoning Sickness, so we can't continue the chain, but we can use that Not Dead After All to get an extra copy of Frontside Fable the Mirrorbreaker. And it comes back with a token attached to it, I think, but I'm not... Oh, no, the Wicked Roll is an aura, so I'm not sure if that works. Maybe... I wonder if the Wicked Aura deals a damage.
Yeah, it should...
Does it try to come in and then go to the graveyard?
It should enter and then fall off because it doesn't meet the conditions of the aura.
That's what I believe as well, but it looks like we are going to ask the head judge, Garrison Fote. He's our head judge for today's event, and we're going to get a ruling from him in just a moment, and we'll see how it works. Yeah, my guess is it comes back with no thing to attach it to, and then we do get the 2/2 Goblin.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get a Fable. The question is what happens with the Wicked Roll token.
Because if maybe it says create it and attach it.
It says create a Wicked Roll attached to it. So it should create the Wicked Roll, attach it, and then the roll says, wait, I'm attached to something I can't be attached to, and then it gets sacrificed to stay-based action. But it would still trigger in that case.
Okay, we'll confirm with the head judge after, but his ruling is going to be final on this, so it doesn't look like we did an extra damage. And now we are going to pitch 1 card to Chapter 2 of Fable the Mirrorbreaker. That's an extra white-bordered swamp. And we are going to take a damage from the Orcish Bowmasters and grow that Orc Army slightly. And now Robin has to figure out how to navigate this attack. Both creatures on the other side are 2/2s, so this would be a bunch of trades coming in.
Yeah, I think there was a window for Robin to answer that Bowmaster while Will was tapped out a couple turns ago. And she didn't take it then and has gotten pretty punished for it. Because the second Undying effect was... has now sort of stabilized the battlefield for Will here. And if given enough time, he has way more resources in hand than Robin. So he's going to be able to whittle down these reflections, find removal, maybe get the Voidwalker down and things like that. Come back in this game.
Well, Will still has to beat both of these reflections, though. They do look pretty scary. Here is a Bowmasters from Robin. We're going to deal 1, make an Orc Army. I'm interested why this is happening now. I'm guessing it's because we're casting a second Bowmaster. Oh, we're copying it. Awesome. Okay, even better. So we're going to grow, and now we have 1/1 that can attack, as well as the 2 Goblin tokens that can attack.
Yeah, and the 1/1 might as well come in even though there's a 2/2 blocker, since it'll get sacrificed on the end step regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, reflection shenanigans.
I'm a big fan of Fable the Mirror Breaker in general, but that card is wild.
I just wish that the goblin didn't make a treasure when it attacked. Like, why was that
Oh,
necessary?
you don't like pressure? You don't like having to answer something, Ross?
I can deal with everything else on that card. Just why?
All right, we're gonna attack for a bit. We're gonna make a treasure, and we'll likely gonna block the one. Take four.
Treasures.
Ooh, 2 treasures. I feel like we're already rich. We're Scrooge McDuck rich over here with these treasure tokens. I'm gonna go back Will's way. 2/2 only, facing down. A pair of goblins, an orc army, a bowmaster, and a flip reflection with a flip reflection coming next turn. Needs a lot of help, and it probably starts with Fury.
Yes, I would agree. Fury is the card that Will needs, but I don't think I see one in the hand there. That's a lot of black cards. I think there's a Shield Druid. I think there's a Grief. Maybe another Bowmaster, which wouldn't be the worst. It would deal with Robin's Bowmaster, so she can't keep copying it. But you got to answer these reflections. If double reflection gets online, that'll end the game in a hurry.
All right, here is Grief pitching Thoughtseize, and it's staying in play, which usually means that we're going to play an Undying effect right after. We'll see what's in Robin's hand, though. Last card.
Yeah, just the one card, so double Grief not too effective. Robin, I mean, if it's a card you can cast for any amount of value, you might as well.
What if it's Bolt? Oh, just Undying Evil. That's fine. I like this play though, because we're doing it now just to like put a shield on the reflection. Obviously, Will can kill it in response or kill it on the upkeep, but I mean, otherwise it's going to the graveyard. Maybe just letting it go to the graveyard is technically better because it lets you keep a treasure. I don't know.
I don't think it's going to matter.
I don't either. Like I said, we're Scrooge McDuck rich. We can afford it.
Ooh, there's a Bowmaster in Will's hand. I think he's trying to bait Robin into using the Reflection main phase on her own Bowmaster and kill in response. So you sort of trade for the Reflection activation this turn as well. But a risky line, but maybe one that Will needs to take in order to crawl back into this game.
I wish the Wicked Roll token would come on it now. I know that that's not how it works, but that's what I want to happen. All right, here comes a big attack. Robin doesn't fall for it.
Yeah, I like the patience here from Robin. You know, your opponent is behind, has a ton of cards in hand, and just left up 2 mana. That's a clear sign that they've got something.
Yeah, and you just have the ability to do the reflection tricks should they go after something in the attack step. Looks like we're going to try to trade Bowmaster token for Goblin. Will here has the option to play a Bowmaster. I kind of liked playing Bowmaster to grow the Orc and deal 1 to the opposing Bowmaster, but maybe that's not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, Robin can just copy her own Bowmaster twice and, you know, ping the now 3/3 Orc army and ping your Bowmaster.
True.
Completely undo everything. And
Control
just grow
easy.
her own Orc army in the process.
Okay, here's the Bowman. See, it's going to target opposing Bowmaster. I think you just let this happen. I really want to do reflection tricks. One thing you can do right now
you
is
only
you
need
can
one
do...
reflection up for the trick. So you can use one reflection to deal with Will's Bowmaster. Leave the other one up to start the chain on his turn.
Well, one of them has Summoning Sickness, so you can only activate one of them.
Yeah, okay.
Trust me.
Yeah, if one is summoning sick, then you can't do that.
When I say trust me, I don't mean like trust me, but like, you know, I'm pretty sure. All right, Bowman down. Robin says go. 2 reflections at the ready, even if one of them dies this turn, can still chunk in for a big swing next turn. And Will just says, you got it. We're going to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Game 1, Robin Gonzalez in our last chance qualifier. And as these players go to their sideboard, I'm going to let Ross take a look at their sideboard too and give you his expert analysis. We'll start with Will Hall. How is he going to shore up this matchup, Ross?
Okay. Will Hall's side, Brad, has 4 copies of Leyline of the Void, 2 Engineered Explosives, 2 Blood Moon, 2 Feed the Swarm, 2 Torok Dread Cantor, 2 Chalice of the Void, and 1 Kolaghan's Command. I like the Leyline of the Voids just to mess with their graveyards. I like the Feed the Swarms. It's an answer to big Shieldreds. It's an answer to opposing Leylines. And just generally big creatures, if they get a Fury down or something like that. So I like those. I could see bringing in Torok or Kolaghan's Command. They're generally effective in long attrition-oriented matchups, but with all the graveyard interaction that's going on, I think Kolaghan's Command, the Raise Dead, mode, which is the hallmark of using it in grindy matchups, is going to be somewhat muted. And then the Toroks, like both of your decks, empty your hands pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Will didn't in that game just because he was stuck on 1 land in the early turns, but Robin mulliganed to 4. She had basically no hand by turn 4.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm not sure how effective those will be in this specific matchup.
All right, on the other side of the table, it is a mirror match, so Robin's going to have a lot of the same tools at her disposal. Is there anything special you think that she might bring in different from Will Hall?
Well, she has 3 copies of Leyline of the Void. She also has 2 copies of Bone Crusher Giant. I like that in the mirror. Deals with some of the early creatures, generates easy value.
Daughty Voidwalker is annoying, and
Yeah.
Bone Crusher Giant is rad.
Yeah, deals with Bowmaster, deals with Goblin Shaman tokens, reflections. There's a lot of good targets for Stomp in the mirror. She also has 2 copies of Shieldred the Apocalypse in the sideboard. I could see those coming in. It's just
we saw those
cards
rotting in Will Hall's hand last game, but I think it's pretty common for you to get to 4 or 5, 6 mana in this matchup.
And then I'm also looking at 1 copy of Molten Claps, new card from Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
Yeah, it's like Dreadbore Plus. Card's great.
Yeah. In this matchup, it's really just Dreadbore. There's no non-creature permanents, right, with mana value 1 or
that
less.
Was way more for like hardened scales, things like that.
I guess you could blow up a treasure token every now and again with it, but if Robin decides she wants answers to some Shieldreds or bigger creatures, maybe you want it's just a singleton.
All right, Mr. Director, I know you can swap to a scene that zooms out, and I don't know what the button is. I'm sorry. We have a new director in here. There it is. That's the one. Okay. While these players are finishing up their sideboarding and getting ready for game number 2, I'd like to take this time to say thank you to our wonderful sponsors for the Apex Gaming Invitational Series. First up, Ultimate Guard has some of the best TCG products in the business, from the Katana sleeves to the Archive deck box. Make sure to ask your local game store for Ultimate Guard product. If they don't have it, ask them why. Next up, we have a brand new sponsor, Moxfield. Moxfield is a deck building website that I actually have started working with them as well. And it's a great place to create decks, deck lists, images, and you can share them on all sorts of social media, Discord. And it's a great place to contain all of the decks that you have built without losing them, and it stays forever.
Yeah, and you get auto links to the cards. You can put it in different views, formats to make it easier. A lot of options.
And we will be using Moxfield deck links on our YouTube VODs. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to check the link in the video description if you're interested in seeing the deck lists. Also, shout out to our flagship sponsor, TCG Player. They are going to be a huge partner for us here on the Apex series, and we really appreciate them. They are the marketplace for singles in the TCG space. So if you are interested in Disney's Lorcana, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, or Magic the Gathering, make sure to check out tcgplayer.com today and find those singles. They also have a side website called TCG Player Infinite, where they post a lot of competitive content for all of their games, and we're so happy to have them be our primary sponsor here for the Apex Gaming Invitational Series. Also, thank you to Wings Etc. Grill and Pub. Wings Etc. keeps us fed and happy on these long tournament weekends, and hopefully we get up to Wings Etc. tonight before they close, but tonight's going to be a long night.
Fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, got to get some jerk tots. All right, well, we're going to be moving on to game number 2 in just a moment. These players are just about ready to go. So of these players, many of you at home probably know the name Will Hall because his stream is on essentially 24/7. It's actually on right now, and you might think, oh, how is he playing this event if his stream's on? Well, it's old matches of Magic.
Yeah, that's it. Just runs continuously from old Pro Tour Grand Prix coverage.
Yeah, it's great. It's like an awesome like late night stream to pop on and listen to while while you're jamming some games or whatever, man. It's awesome. And his opponent is Robin Gonzalez, who recently won one of our re-CQs here at the Apex home store in Caldwell, Ohio, a few months ago. And she has been studying under Mason Esports Clark, really juicing up her game. Has only been playing competitively for less than a year. And it's really awesome to see that kind of progress so quickly.
Well, juiced up her draw in this game, got to keep 7 and started with that turn 0 Leyline of the Void.
Oh yeah, but a Ragavan on the other side of things could spell disaster. Robin doesn't have the removal spell, has Thoughtseize. We'll see how desperate she wants to get, if she wants to do something like Fury just to kill that Ragavan.
I don't land heavy of a hand for Will Hall here.
Yeah, and Bowmaster going to be the take. I actually expect a Fury here.
Yeah, I could definitely see trading 2 cards for this Ragavan. You would
Yeah.
hate for Will to connect and hit something like a Fable
No
or
kidding.
a Bowmaster or Voidwalker or anything like that.
All right, and we are just going to pitch another Fury, and that's just to make sure we clear out that Ragavan. We're going to go back Will Hall's way. That Ley Line of the Void is also going to make sure that no of the scam shenanigans can happen.
What was the card Robin just drew?
Ooh, not a land. I'll tell you that much.
I wanted to see if she was going to get punished. You know, there is a Bowmaster in Robin's hand, so presumably against the Ragavan you could wait and then Bowmaster at the next turn. But with Robin not having the second land, it makes Furying the Ragavan a much easier play.
All right, Will draws for turn. Hand is Terminate and Unknowns, other than that Marsh Flats. We go back Robin's way, finds land number 2, has Bowmaster at the ready. We're going to say go.
Yeah. Now, you know, Will getting sort of repaid after missing land drops in game 1. It's now Robin's turn to miss land drops, but Will doesn't have the same pressure that Robin had. So without the pressure, that gives the person who is mana screwed early in the game time to draw out of it. And
Right.
once they do, they have plenty of spells at the ready to start deploying.
Okay, well, a hardcast Leyline of the Void from Will Hall is going to match Robin's, and now Robin's going to fetch in response, leaving that land in the graveyard. Maybe there's a Croxa hiding out in some capacity or some other reason. But I assume the Bowmaster is getting flashed in just to start applying some pressure. A lot of shuffling in Modern, huh?
Yeah, you know, any format with fetch lands.
My director is just like nodding his head furiously. All right, here comes a damage and a token. Robin in the driver's seat.
Yeah, the Terminate doesn't look very good in the face of Bowmaster making 2 bodies.
Attack for 2.
Now, the major difference between Will having his lands established where Robin does not is that he can start hard casting some of these powerful evoke elementals should he draw them. And hard cast, they become incredibly good.
Okay, so here is Dothy Voidwalker, and then we're going to go Griffin just to get the pitch down. Now, we do take that Terminate out of hand, but it does not go under Voidwalker unless Will Hall specifically says, okay, put it under Voidwalker. There are 2 replacement effects happening, a Leyline of the Void and a Dothy Voidwalker, and the person whose card it is gets to decide how it is exiled.
Yeah, so Voidwalker not going to do a whole lot here.
Will having the opposite problem this game that he had last game. He is super flooded. That Terminate was the last spell in hand, and now we're going to go back his way. Needs Fury!
Yeah, just like last game, just
Yeah.
needs a Fury.
All you want in situations like this is Fable the Mirror Breaker and Fury, and that's it.
I believe Robin has a Fable in hand. She just can't find land 3 to cast it. But
Well, oh, woe is me. Will Hall down to 5. Smashing in here with that Voidwalker and the 2/1/1s. The big problem is that Will just has like 6 bricks in his deck as well, right? Just like all of the not dead after alls or whatever, are just complete stone bricks.
yeah, he doesn't have a lot of good cards remaining. You know, like Ragavan wouldn't be good here, especially after fetching. You would just be dead on board. Dothy Voidwalker won't be good.
I don't love the fetch here. I don't think you really need the 6 mana source, and that 1 life point might matter quite a bit, but we are going to thin the deck. Taking a peek. Top card, is it red? Needs to be red. It looks black to me.
That looks like a grief.
Okay, well, we're dead. And there it is. Will Hall packs it in. Robin Gonzalez takes down match number 1 of the tournament, moves to 1-0, and is looking to get up to 4-1 to qualify for Sunday's
Yeah.
Invitational.
So Will still very much in it to qualify for Sunday. And you know what? If he bricks this one, there's 2 more tomorrow. We got another modern one, or if he really wants to qualify playing Pioneer, he can do that as well.